Welcome back everybody. From those of you that have watched the previous videos, we talked about a plan to extend the paving and change the direction of the wall that was originally there to this direction. Unfortunately, we have this reinforced concrete foundation which will need to be taken out. So the big question is, how do I get to take out a foundation that's about a foot wide, about 16 inches deep, and about 15 feet long? I have a few ideas. Unfortunately, I don't think that's very practical or possibly legal in Japan. On to another idea, I guess. This is probably the most common sense idea, but actually quite expensive, and I don't think they'll get it up the small lane. Okay, next idea. Using a jackhammer would seem to make the most sense. Unfortunately, I tried this and it hardly made a dent in it. This was a couple of hours work. Decisions. Something else to consider is that because the concrete is reinforced with rebar, which is metal bars at the base, it's doubly difficult to remove. Then I came across this, which is called Dexpan. It's a demolition grout which you mix with water and is then poured into holes and over several days will crack rock and concrete. So there are three kinds of this Dexpan demolition grout available, and you choose which one you require depending on the temperature. The manufacturers then recommend that you drill holes into the concrete down to about 80% of the depth, making sure you don't go all the way through. The holes need to be spaced about 20 centimeters apart, and the diameter of the holes needs to be around 1.5 inches, which is 38 millimeters. Unfortunately, I didn't have a drill that was anywhere near that big. The largest I had for concrete was 28 millimeters, so we're going to give it a go. I initially thought that it would be quicker to drill small holes and then go back and drill each hole larger, but this actually took quite a bit longer than I expected, and the drill bit kept binding in the holes. Each hole took about 20 to 30 minutes to drill. As you can see, I also needed to add lots of water to lubricate the drill bit. If it gets too hot, it goes blunt quite quickly. Here you see a whole day's work. I think it was 28 holes I drilled in one day. I then needed to cover it up because rain was expected. The following weekend I was bored of drilling holes all the time, so I decided to start digging out the edges, and here we show the whole concrete piece having been drilled. There's a total of 56 holes. I'm glad that's over. So the next step was to clean out all of the holes. I have a shop vacuum cleaner which also has a kind of blow port on it, so I was able to connect a very small piece of plastic tubing and put it down into each of the holes and blow out any water or concrete or stones that had lodged in there. The holes need to be as dry as possible. Next up is mixing the Dexpan grout. It comes in bags. It's pretty dangerous stuff if you get it on your skin or in your eyes or you breathe it in. So it's always a good idea to wear waterproof gloves, eye protection, and a mask. Um, each bag is mixed with 1.5 liters of cold water. You have about 15 minutes of working time with this, so it's important to get it mixed as quickly as possible. So I used a power mixer connected to my electric drill, and yeah, it didn't take long and it got all of the lumps out. It's best to get this mixed and poured first thing in the morning. If it's too warm later on, there is a possibility that the liquid can actually explode upwards out of the holes. And time to pour. I used a small funnel, poured each one carefully but occasionally overfilling. Didn't take too long, but I had to work fast before it starts to go to a gel-like consistency. And the second lot going in. This Dexpan demolition grout expands. It uses pressure, 18,000 psi, which is about 1,265 kilograms per square centimeter. To give you some idea of how much pressure that creates, a regular car tyre will be between 32 and 35 psi, and this was 18,000. And finally, all of the holes are now filled. You can see a little bit of overrun, but that should be fine. And again, I had to cover it up. I was away for another week. When I came back, I simply uncovered it. We had some rain in between. Yes, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it had cracked all the way along. It's broken it into 3 pieces. I was kind of hoping that it would crack it perpendicularly, but unfortunately it didn't. But it just means that it's 3 big, long, thin pieces. Now I need to get to work with a pry bar and jackhammer. The first piece, yeah, straight onto my toe. As I said earlier, the concrete is reinforced, so it has steel rods which run the length of the concrete. So I need to cut those with an angle grinder as I go along. Even though the concrete is cracked, I still need to use the pry bar and a sledgehammer to break it up further and remove the steel rods from the concrete pieces. As you can see, I now have a huge pile of concrete to get rid of. Taking a bit of a break here and sitting down with the jackhammer to try and come in from the side so that I can get to the reinforced bars at the bottom and cut them. Okay, just the end pieces left. Here you can see the concrete has been removed, and there's also some of the rebar still sticking out, which I'll have to clean up next. Here you can see the 3 metal rods, the rebar. Here you see me using a stone cutting disc and the jackhammer to remove the final bits of concrete. Finally finished and removed all the concrete waste. Next, I'm going to have to dig this out by hand so that I can continue the paving. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, comment and like, do the usual stuff, and I'll see you again next time.